Hello everyone, and welcome to a video that many of you have been waiting for. Welcome to the first part of a new series in Aurora 4X. Yes, we are going to touch the stars again. And this time, it's not going to be a tutorial. This time it is going to be for real. This time we are going to play a very tough scenario that is not going to make this easy for us. That is going to try to kill us and challenge us at every step. I would very much like to thank all of you that have been liking the previous videos, that have been posting so many comments, and that have been patiently waiting for this to happen. I hope that all of you are here. But most of all, I would like to thank the person that helped me with this, Jorgen CAB, who spent countless hours in preparing this scenario, fulfilling my every wish, and who literally made this possible. I owe you one. Now, we can start, but before we do that, there is a few things I need to mention. Aurora 4X is a great sandbox game, but there are certain places where it lacks. It lacks on purpose. It is a game where you can set your own rules, and exactly that we are going to do. I have prepared a document where I wrote down these rules of game, and I would like to quickly overview them with you so that you can see what is going to happen. First rule that we will obey is all personnel can only be assigned at their current location, which means that personnel has to be moved physically in the game before it can be assigned at another place. So if we have, for example, a commander of a ship at a planet, either the ship goes to that planet and picks him up, and then he can be assigned to that ship, or he has to take a different ship and go meet that specific ship. This might seem like too much of a micromanagement, but I think that it's going to pose a huge new challenge to the game, and is finally going to make these civilian transports and shuttles worthwhile. This is again important because many of you have signed up for characters in the game. By the way, the signings are still open if anyone is interested. You can post it in the comments and you will be given a character of your choice. But now you can actually watch your characters move from one place to another and see their career, not by only being assigned by the AI, but by literally watching your character move from one place to another. Second rule that we are going to follow is there will be no large changes in the production, only in the matter of percentage. So we have to set a long-term goals, and only about 5% per year of industry can be changed without penalty. In case a large change takes place, the industry has to be moved to the waste pool. However, every month, 1/10 of the waste pool can be assigned to another project for free. Which means, basically, if I have say I have 20 factories, I can for free only change 5% of those 20 factories to a different project. So for example, if 10 of them are making infrastructure, I can only change one of those to immediately start producing something else. If I wanted to change, say, 10 more, I have to disable their production for a couple of months and slowly change them to a different project. Again, micromanagement, but this will force us to actually think about what we want to do, because every sudden change means wasting factories. This goes for large changes in the laboratory department as well. Only new laboratories can be assigned to different category, and in case we want to change something, we can only retool 1 out of 10 laboratories per year. Again, this means that every year I can change 1 out of 10 laboratories for free. The rest cannot be changed. Pretty simple, I guess. I may be overcomplicating it, but in the future I will probably not go back over these rules again. Now, every asteroid base needs a terraforming facility for every 50 million people it has. If the facility is destroyed, the entire asteroid population has to leave in 3 months. If it doesn't, whoever is left behind dies. This will be very important in this scenario, trust me. And the last rule is, in order to reduce the effectiveness of storing wealth, 10% of a country's wealth is eroded from total each year. This will also include negative wealth, but will instead be +5 negative wealth to make it even worse, as an interest. Jorgen CAB will take care of this. He's going to erode some of the wealth, but we can be sure that we don't have enough already. Now, before I go over the rest, this is the in-game personnel that has been added to the game according to your requests. So, Jack Sunday is a brigadier. He's serving in the military. Isaac Murdoch Icarus is a lieutenant commander of a scout ship PC Foxtrot 3. Isaac Clark became a military officer. Matthew Ravenborg became a captain of PC Foxtrot 001. Thomas Hunt became a scientist in the construction and production field. Drake Zephyr is a military officer. He's a colonel. Adam Squeakers Walter is a commander at Fast Attack Craft Tender UCF Scharnhorst. Adam Sutton is a rear admiral. He's the commander of the OPA Civilian Fleet HQ. Thomas Donnelly is a planetary governor of the asteroid Ceres. Gustav Hedon is a scientist of the energy weapons. Bruce Herodotus is the commander of Everest 1. Dalton Silveraxe is the governor of Aurora asteroid. Louis Minarin is the scientist in the logistics department, logistics and ground combat that is. Patrick Mickle has been assigned command of the Foxtrot 11. Victor Code has become a ship commander of the Foxtrot 21. And Jeremiah Thornton has become a commander of the Fast Attack Craft Tender USF Enterprise. Now, the only one of you that didn't get a character is Sir Echo Scott, aka Echolocation Able. He requested a Sensor Scientist. Unfortunately, at this point, we have no such person. But as soon as we get a Sensor Scientist, Echo will be joining us in the game. Now, I trust that you will find your character's choice happy. You will be happy with the choice of your characters, and whenever I speak about these characters that I named now, you know where they are or where they started. So now to the actual game. Well, we have a scenario going, and I would like to show it to you and talk a bit about the background, because it's going to be very important to know what has happened and what is happening right now. So, we are playing as Outer Planets Alliance. Outer Planets Alliance is a remnant of the empire of humans that spanned over about half of our solar system, starting by Earth and going all the way to trading past, here it is, trading past Hua, which is almost at the outer asteroid field. What happened is that about 6 months ago, Lusitania, a luxurious liner on its well, a luxurious liner that was registered as a Mars or Martian luxury liner was destroyed by a military squadron that belonged to Earth. A political and diplomatic conflict ensued, which quickly escalated into a full-scale war that further kept escalating and ended about 2 months ago by a nuclear destruction of both Earth, including Luna, and Mars. There are remnants everywhere of this war, especially of the major battles. Lusitania was destroyed here near 199 UJ7, where another battle has ensued. You can see that there are wreckages near Mars and a massive amount of wreckage near Earth and Luna. What is left at this point is the OPA that declared neutrality during this conflict, but was mainly ignored by both the government of Earth and government of Mars. However, after the destruction of these two planets and pretty much 99% of human population, it is now all that is left. Now, we don't have much. We actually have so little to start with that is not even funny. When we look at the places where we have our population, the capital for us is Vesta, where we have 28.36 million people. We also have the only planet, which is Ganymede, where we have 16.56 million people, and this is pretty much our only food producing colony in this scenario. We also have Ceres, which is a third biggest colony of ours now, with 11.34 million people, and a couple of smaller asteroid bases: Pallas, Aurora, Eros, and Hebe. These each contain between 4.56 million and 2.21 million. As far as our situation goes, we have very little resources, very little actually usable ships, almost no technology, almost no scientists, very few people, very few places to grow into, almost no mining capacity, and pretty much no bigger shipyards, no research labs, nothing. We are all that's left, which is almost nothing. So our first goal in this scenario will be to present this situation to you guys in more detail, and then start somehow trying to use these scraps to create a working infrastructure to boost our resource production, to start some basic research, to start moving personnel around, and just trying to survive. If we somehow manage for this economy to not collapse into itself, I will be incredibly happy. I expect that it will be at least 100 years in-game before we can actually do something like visit another system or research anything that is of potential. Maybe even much longer. We are, for most part, limited to conventional engines. We don't even have the nuclear engines yet. So you can imagine that our tech level is extremely low. Now, what I'm going to do at this point is I'm gonna look at each of our bases and tell you about it, tell you about who is there, how we're doing, and what are we going to plan with it. So let's start.